fight fans. This is Chris Guzman with your weekly Thursday night injection of boxing talk, updates, and all-out arguments. This is your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance. It is Thursday night, October the 11th, 2007. We are live from the Golden Leaf in Hobart, Indiana, 6-51. My partner in crime, Nestor Garza Romero, is on location in Florida, smiling and winking at us right now because Chicagoland has some really junky weather. So on my right tonight, my partner is Emil Soda-Popinski Kegaban. Mo, what's going on in your world?
Not much, man. Having a good time. Smoking some cigars. We started getting the shows up on the internet on YouTube this week. Timmy and I been working on the videos. I did the Ed Brophy interview when we talked about the ring last week.
That was a great interview. We had a good time with that one.
Oh, yeah. That guy, he can talk a lot about that place. Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff to say about the Hall of Fame. And other than that, not much, man. Getting ready to have the kid here pretty soon.
I was going to say, how's your wife?
It's the countdown, man. We keep, except for there's no final date. You never know when it's going to come, so it's not really a countdown.
Can't really do a count. You can get one of those internet countdowns where it'll count down to anything.
Yeah.
But you got to do that backwards, so it's not going to work.
But she's about 37 weeks right now, so anytime between now and 40, so the next 3 weeks, she could have the kid.
And those of you that don't know, Emil's wife is a very small person, so.
Yeah, she weighed 110 when she went into this pregnancy. She weighs about 155
now. That's a big difference, I'll tell you.
That's like 30% of her body weight.
50% of her body weight.
So you've been watching The Biggest Loser, haven't you? Percentage of weight loss is?
No, I've never seen that show. Did they do that?
Yeah.
I would not know.
He's too busy watching Dancing with the Stars and American Idol.
We got Biggest Loser at my house, but it's called The Mirror in my bathroom, actually. That voice you hear over on our far right is Timmy the Producer Patterson. Timmy, how you doing tonight, and how can our listeners log on and listen tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. Not a whole lot going on. Just trying to do little stuff to get the website back up and going how it used to be, but that's about it with me. But how you can reach us is through the Yahoo Instant Messenger. It is keyword Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, and you can send us an email at bolopunchboxinghour@yahoo.com, or you can call us on the hotline 219-743-9743.
Awesome, Tim. I appreciate that. Like I said, we got Nestor over in Florida on location, which just means he got some vacation time.
It just means he's not here.
He's not here, because if you don't show up for the show, you're on location. Eric Gibson has been on location for about 2 years now.
Even when he was here, he was on location.
Don't start that.
But hey, well, we got a big weekend coming up.
We've got a lot of things to talk about. It's almost like I don't know where to start. We've got piles of things. I know there's a boxing show, but I want to pay homage to Randy the Natural Couture of the UFC. Easily one of the greatest mixed martial artists that I've ever had the privilege of watching, and I've been watching since the days of the Gracies, the Gracie train, and all of that. Hoist Gracie in particular. But when Randy Couture came out of nowhere, essentially, just as a wrestler, and fought Vitor Belfort, and withstood all the punches and ended up beating him, I was a fan of Randy Couture forever. So our hats are out. We're not wearing hats. Well, Tim is, but. Emil's hair is off for Randy the Natural Couture in his retirement. We wish you well. Oh my gosh! I mean, we've got our weekend. Well, Timmy, actually, we all have big weekends. You're going to get a kid probably out of this weekend.
Yeah, either this week in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, but as far as boxing goes, you guys are going to be at the Hammond Civic Center covering some Jakubowski fights.
Yeah, Johnny Novak's going to make his return to the ring, as well as what's the girl's name? Scrap Iron Juratovic.
Juratovic. Yep.
You say you say Juratovic. I say Juratovic.
I say Juratovic, and you say Juratovic.
That's usually how it works.
Yep.
But yeah, Scrap Iron's going to be back in town. Just off her fight with Christy Martin.
Yeah. So we spoke with Christy Martin just in June at the Hall of Fame.
And she paid a lot of respect to.
Really, very much did. She said, "I don't know what you guys are putting in the water in Indiana, but." That girl got clobbered in the first round, came back and gave her 5 more good rounds. So
yeah, well, we just talked at Scrap Iron. That was within a month up in Michigan. We ran
about 3 weeks ago at the Tua and Rockman event. At the Carlos Linas, however you want to pronounce that last name.
Jakubowski puts out about 1 fight a year, 1 promotion a year.
Yeah.
And we're always there to cover it, and I didn't want this year to be any different.
No. No, it's,
So,
it's important. I mean, we're going to be split up for the first time in a good while, where
Yeah.
we're covering two different events on the same night. You guys are taking a local promotion, and Timmy and I are going to be heading up to the Sears Center in just outside of downtown Chicago, covering El Dia de los Diaz, where we've got Juan the Baby Bull Diaz is taking on Julio Diaz for the unified IBF and WBA lightweight championship. It's going to be pretty star-studded from what I understand. I just got off the phone with Ray Flores, our good buddy, also with an awesome boxing and MMA radio show. We'll have him on a little bit later on in the evening to discuss what he's been doing lately. But I'm going to be at the weigh-in tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll get a little bit of some interviews going on for the website and whatnot. But John Ruiz is also going to be on the undercard. He's going to be fighting. But as far as star-studded, we're going to have Roy Jones is going to be there, as well as Felix Trinidad, because they're trying to drum up extra.
I'm gonna have to
extra
dig up
press
some
for-
magazines to give you guys.
some extra press for the event. And I just found out on the phone about 20 minutes ago that Ricardo El Matador Mayorga is also going to be there.
Man, oh man,
Because his fight with Fernando Vargas.
why the hell did I let you go instead of me?
Well, I just found these things out just recently.
Oh yeah, you were keeping all that nice secret.
I found that out today, dude. I found that out today. Tim, you don't have to go, right? Someone's got to.
I haven't been to one of these yet, so I'm going to the big dance, man.
This is a big dance for you. Is this your first big dance?
This is the first big dance.
This
I
is
mean-
this is your first HBO event.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, this will be a baptism by fire because Bob Arum's Top Rank. They really do it right, and in the exact same vein, Don King does it. I mean, extravagantly crazy.
Yeah, they've been playing commercials all week on ESPN because
Yeah.
I listen to ESPN radio all day.
Yeah.
And they've been playing commercials all week, so those tickets, I'm sure, are going pretty quickly now. As it.
We are back live. It's your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance, www.hssp.cc, sportsjuice.com. We're here live at the Golden Leaf in Hobart, Indiana, 6 and 51. And on the phone, I do believe we have heavyweight sensation Fast, Frez Okendo. Frez, are you there, sir?
Yes, how you doing, everybody?
Frez, what's going on, man? Oh my gosh, this is a treat. This is an absolute treat. First of all,
Thank you.
this Chicago weather sucks real bad, doesn't it? It was warm for
Yeah.
so long. It was warm for so long. Now all of a sudden it's all terrible.
Yeah, this week, the fatigue.
No, jeez. So, oh my gosh, talk about a heavyweight that is on his way back. I mean, on the comeback trail. I've been a fan of yours for a number of years. First fight I saw you at was actually when you fought Bert the Hurt Cooper at Star Plaza in Maryville. That was in '99. That was a good while ago. I was still a professional judge at the time. But and we're going to talk about that fight. But I want to go back a little bit in time if we could. Let's talk about Little Frez. How did you get started with the sport of boxing?
Okay, first of all, everybody, I just want to make one thing clear.
Yeah.
I did not never retire, so it's not a comeback. This is my return bout after my controversial. Hey, first, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. At the age today, I'm a prime. I'm 33, and I started back in '87. I was 13. So that was 20 years ago this day, and it's just living clean, staying focused, and just having faith in myself.
So you were a 17-year-old kid.
Oh, 13.
13. Pardon me. 13-year-old kid. And, was there trouble around? Were you escaping something? I mean, a lot of times people turn to boxing to stay focused on positive things. Talk about your childhood a little bit. Was that?
Yeah. You could kind of say that because I grew up in the Chicago housing projects. Lathrop Homes, one of the most notorious projects at that time in Chicago, was next to Cabrini Green, where one of my old arch rivals came from, and that's who ended up, defeating me to try to make the Olympics in '96 when we fought, in the National Golden Gloves. Nate Jones, he's the Olympic bronze medalist, back in '96. But today, he's my assistant trainer, by the way. Small world, Nate Jones used to be assistant be assist Mayweather and myself
Oh, yeah.
at this moment. And you know, I started because it was a sport that I had to do to learn how to defend myself in the street. I used to get a lot of street fights when I was in grammar school.
Okay.
So it was a school bully when I was at a junior high school, and once I beat up that school bully, I figured I might as well take my talents to the next level. Went to a boxing gym when I was 13, and the rest was history.
Well, what gym was that you went to when you first started out?
Oh, I started in Hamlin Park, Chicago Park District. It's northwest side of Chicago, on Damon and Belmont area, and my coach was Bill Hegley. He was a father figure of mine, and he still is. And to this day, I still go to this park and visit, my old trainer, and I actually donated with the assist of Everlast, equipment to my old alum, gym that me and current WBC lightweight champion David Diaz, I actually, grew up with David Diaz, who just beat Eric Morales.
Oh, yeah.
And I was there to cheer him on. And, it was a great experience, starting at a little gym, that I came from.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of photos with you and David Diaz at after-fight parties.
Yeah, you guys are definitely tight, and that's awesome. I like that the Chicago fighters sort of stick together.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, talk about a record here. I mean, you went. I mean, I can't even count all of these fights. I mean, you went undefeated forever, obviously, until you hit David Tua. But you fought several times over in our area. You fought at the Genesis Center in '99 against Bradley Roan. You knocked that guy out in 6 rounds. Craig Payne.
Yeah, very tough guy.
Oh, Bradley Roan or Craig Payne? Which one are you speaking of?
Oh, Bradley Roan. He went currently the distance with Michael Grant before Michael Grant was a top contender before I fought him. So the guy was a pretty tough journeyman for me at that stage in my career to fight, and I ended up passing it with flying colors. Thank God.
Awesome. Good for you. Awesome. Craig Payne, like I said, in Elgin, and Phil Jackson. Now, right around Phil Jackson, the later part of '99 is when you start getting into the upper echelon of fighters, people that have been to the dance before, and you did not seem to buckle under that pressure whatsoever. I mean, you went right through them like you were going through all the guys before that. I mean, when you talk about Phil Jackson, Burt Cooper, and Dale Crow, these are all guys that have been to the dance. They've been there before. They've been in with world champions. Burt Cooper even held a belt for a while, and you're getting unanimous decisions over all of these.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry. I was talking to one of the instructors. Actually, believe it or not, I'm currently at the Rubens Cafe downtown Chicago, getting ready for the Dancing with the Stars Latino, Chicago area. And actually, I'm one of the, Chicago area Latino celebrities, being an athlete like Mayweather is with the Dancing with the Stars,
Yeah.
Hollywood style. So I apologize, guys. Is there any way that I can call you all back because they're going to introduce the dancers?
Absolutely.
So I totally apologize if it's inconvenience, but if there's any way I make this interview in the next like 10 minutes or so.
Absolutely. No, not to worry at all, man. Not to worry. Things happen, and I know you have a lot of commitments. You're a real popular guy, and with this show as well. So yeah, we'll talk to you real soon, later on this evening. How's that?
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna give you my time. I just gotta get introduced to the crowd and stuff like that. And like I said, I told him I'm trying to do things all at once. That's the way I am. My generosity.
No problem.
Sometimes.
Yeah, just
my time is a little off, but man, I definitely want to get this interview because it's going to be a great story. I definitely want to tell the public, in the boxing world. So I'll be the first one to tell it.
Not to worry, Chris.
Standpoint.
No, we appreciate you.
I definitely want you all to call me back. Like I said, the next 30 minutes or so. But of course, this evening will be perfect for me.
Beautiful. Thanks,
that sounds
Chris.
perfect. Thank you
We'll
so
talk to you
much.
real soon. Dance your butt off, buddy.
All right, thanks, bud.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Cool.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, that's Fast Fresno Kendo. He's got a lot of
Yeah, we're losing him to the cha-cha.
a lot of obligations. A lot of obligations. Obviously, he was good enough to take the time out of his obviously busy evening. I was going to say we were talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr. there. He was talking about the earlier beginnings of his career, how it coincided with Floyd Mayweather Jr. only being a state away. That's cool that he brought him up because Fresno Kendo is doing a Dancing with the Stars type thing, Latino version out of the Chicagoland area. So obviously being one of the biggest of all the Puerto Rican heritage names coming out of Chicagoland area, of course they would go to
He's
Fresno
a
Kendo.
big guy. You got his height there in front of you?
He's exceptionally thick. He's one of the. I mean, he's definitely not one of the taller heavyweights as far as what we're dealing with these days. But they've only got him listed at 6'2". I'm willing to bet he's taller than that.
Yeah, I stood next to him.
I'm 6'2". I'm 6 foot tall.
6 tall.
I'm 6'2" tall.
But yeah, we stood next to him out there at the Allstate Arena, and
Yeah.
he seemed pretty big to me. So
Yeah, he's a little bit taller than what they're saying. But oh man, I've got to talk to him about the Clifford Etienne fight, because that's the first one that I saw televised. I saw him a few months before fight Burt Cooper, and loved that. That fight actually got postponed the first time. It was supposed to happen like a month prior, and that was the first time I ever saw fights in the theater. And I remember Angel Manfredi was sitting ringside for that. So
oh yeah, Angel went to a lot of those fights. Actually, he was an undercard on a lot of fights as Angel was coming up too. Angel was on a lot of undercards in the area of the bigger names. So we went to actually a Roy Jones fight down in Indy, and he was on the undercard there, non-televised undercard.
yeah. Well, Bernard Hopkins fought Fitz Vanderpool on the undercard. I mean, Bernard Hopkins ended up being a much bigger name than Roy as the years went on. Defending his title 20 times.
Yeah, we seen
which is
him.
Ungodly.
Yeah, we seen him fight Richard Hall down there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I still have all the posters for that. That's a beautiful poster too.
Oh yeah.
How cool would it be? I was just thinking about this in traffic today to come up with a book, just a compilation of boxing posters, because they really are gorgeous. I mean, when you're talking about the earlier days when they were actually painted or intaglio artwork, like the poster that I have of Jake Kilrain against John O'Sullivan.
That's the stuff that I like collecting. I'm starting to get in. As I started collecting the magazines, for getting autographs that we've been getting, I've started noticing that ones that I like the most are the artwork ones. I kind of thumb through those, and those are the ones I want to get signed first, because those are the ones I could just kind of like that. It's a little bit different than just having a guy with a shirt off.
Yeah.
You can have so many of those where it's just a guy with a shirt off. There's 1,000 boxers just standing there flexing.
That's a whole other show just talking about boxing art. But Leroy Neiman obviously is the number one guy when it comes to boxing art, and when it comes to sports art in general. Leroy Neiman's the man. He was just inducted this year into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He was ill. He wasn't able to attend, much to my chagrin, because obviously I had something that I wanted to show him. But
he kind of inspired you, though.
Very much so. Oh my gosh, from the very beginning, he inspired me. He's painted Fresno Kendo before, by the way.
Well, he's inspired you to start painting these boxers.
I've been doing some paintings too. I don't need to be brought up in the same breath as Leroy Neiman, other than I painted Leroy Neiman. But a guy that I do want to talk about just for a split second. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but as far as boxing art goes, is Richard T. Sloan. Richard Sloan is a good buddy of mine. He has been published on the cover of Boxing Illustrated, Ring Magazine, KO Magazine,
Boxing International.
Yeah, he did a great Michael Grant versus Lennox Lewis when they did the Too Big. He was supposed to, the biggest guys ever to go for the heavyweight championship. He did a great painting for that. But he loves doing Ricky Hatton. He's been doing a lot of Diego Corrales and Ricky Hatton, Floyd Mayweather, Popo Freitas. If you go on to Richard T. Sloan, that's SLONE, artist.com, you'll be able, or just look him up at Yahoo and find his official website. You're going to see how great some of the artwork is that this guy does. And he's our age. He's not some ancient guy. Not that Leroy Neiman is ancient, but he's definitely older than we are. He's about our parents' age. And just for Leroy Neiman to have started the whole sports art as fine art movement, which I believe he did, I definitely give him credit for that. Richard Sloan has kind of taken the baton and is starting to run with it, and he's doing. You can see he was influenced by Leroy Neiman, but his work is not. You're not going to look at it and say, "Oh my God, he's ripping someone off." He's definitely influenced by him. He took the baton and he's running in his own direction with it. And I'm telling you, if you get a chance to own some original Sloan artwork, which I have, put it away.
Is this the guy that we met down at the Hall of Fame? Same gentleman?
He walked past us. I spoke with him a couple seconds. Yeah, I'm sure I introduced you to him.
Yeah.
He was there. He's there every year because he does the program for the Hall of Fame. You know, the big painting on the cover of the program. But I'm telling you, I could do an entire show just talking about boxing art. I think a book is in the works. It needs to be in the works. I need to write it because obviously no one else is.
Oh, yeah. You and Bert Sugar, I'm sure, could get together.
Me and Bert Sugar could get together on just boxing art, all the way from George Bellows, and those of you that listen that are history buffs know that I'm talking about Stag at Sharkey's, which is just a crazy. Larry Merchant just brought him up at during a recent fight. He just said Stag at Sharkey's because I don't even want to get started on that. That's a whole other show, like I said.
But Neiman was at the fights this weekend at the Peter.
I know.
And,
he was sick for his induction. Yet every one of these weigh-ins that I see, he's had all the weigh-ins.
Well, he was in the ring for Peter and McCline, so
which is something we could be talking about now as well. Because I mean, that's an astounding. The first time I met Leroy Neiman actually was at the Nikolai Valuev against Monty Barrett fight that was held up here in Chicago. So he's definitely willing to travel, and he's very unassuming. He's got his handlebar mustache and his suit, his cool hair, white hair that just gets combed back, and he just waltzes on in. He's very unassuming. He doesn't talk to a whole lot of people. He's got his pad of paper, and he sits ringside and sketches the fighters. And it's going to be on a poster or in a book somewhere at some point. And I can say I was there when he was doing it. I mean, I don't have to tell you that Rocky Balboa was. I mean, one of the main images of the sixth movie was a giant Leroy Neiman painting of him that was up in the movie that up in the restaurant rather.
Well, you went this year when we were at the Hall of Fame. You actually brought a sketch pad for him. He said you're going to get your original Neiman. He doesn't know he's going to do it yet, but you're going to get him to do a little doodle on there for you.
Yeah, well, yeah. It was. I had so many plans. I had so many high hopes for this year, and 99% of it happened because I got to hang out with. I hung out with Pernell Whitaker in the bar.
Yeah.
I stood right next to him at the bar, talked with him for a good 20 minutes we talked about Buddy McGirt actually. About how hard it was to fight that guy because they really liked each other, but Buddy McGirt was just a vicious body puncher, and he had to stay away from him. But we talked about that. It was kind of interesting. He would sign Pernell Whitaker would sign things for you at the bar if you tipped the waitress. If you give the waitress money, he would sign something. So he wasn't taking money. He didn't want any money for himself. He was willing to sign all day for free, but he wanted to make sure that the staff got piles of money, and he said, "I want to see it." You put a few dollars down, and he'll sign what you want and take a photo with you.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You put a couple bucks down. And he looked at you kind of like, "That it?" So you put a couple more bucks down.
But what I want to do is I want to actually have a section on the website just devoted to boxing art, where you can go through an archive and just see images of boxing art through the years, and maybe I'll throw a couple of mine in there too. I mean, who the hell knows? But, just to be silly.
Getting back to Buddy McGirt, they were finished up the Contender. He's obviously a big part of the Contender, and his guys actually did pretty good this last week. He had Banks on there. He kind of surprised me how good Banks did this week. I thought Paul Smith was going to handle him very easily. It looked like it. Actually, I had Paul Smith losing that fight. He ended up winning on the cards.
It was very close.
I
will admit that I saw it as very close. It could have gone either way.
But I had Banks. Slightly ahead on that. I said after the second round, because Amber was watching with me.
Yeah.
Amber wanted. She's like, I asked her about Banks because he kept talking about how good looking he was. I'm like, is he really that good looking? I don't think he is. You know, you don't really want to say, but you say he's not that good looking. And
no.
She goes, no, he's kind of a a-hole, but she goes, I hope he gets his butt whooped in there.
She obviously doesn't mind hanging around a-holes. She's around us all the time.
But he did pretty good there in the ring. He was a lot quicker than I thought he was. Paul Smith I thought was going to handle him, but he didn't box as well. He telegraphed his punches a little bit too much, going for the power shots.
Most definitely.
And got caught a few times, and he was the winner that got sent home.
Yeah.
Didn't have to hang his gloves up.
He won the fight. That's one new stipulation in the Contender show now. Just because you win does not mean that you go on. You've got to have the power quotient. You've got to have a certain amount of points, and you have to win your fight in grand fashion. Winning a split decision, you kind of knew Okay, great. You sent someone home, but you're probably going to get sent home too.
Yeah, Paul Smith was the guy I picked to come in third place, and he got sent home a little bit early. But
in third place?
Yeah.
Because you had Codrington winning.
And I had Bika coming in second.
You don't have as much respect for Sam Solomon as I do.
No, and Solomon actually has beat Bika before, and they're going to be fighting here coming up.
I love the fact that Bika got the chance to go where he wanted, and Solomon said, yeah, let's do a rematch. And he's pretty much sitting there saying, I already know I've beaten you once. I can beat you again.
And he says 6 out of 7 times he's fought rematches, he's won all of them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He's going to have a tough fight with Bika. If Bika gets some training in with these guys, with Buddy McGirt, depends on who he draws now. I don't know who he's going to have as his trainer, if he's going to stick with the blue team as his trainer, because there's 2 guys from the yellow team and 2 guys from the blue team. Are they going to switch around a little bit and work with the other trainers, or are they going to stick with their own guy?
Don't know exactly how that's going to go. I think nothing but interesting things are going to come from this.
Solomon, I think he could be a trainer himself. I think he's destined to be a trainer.
I think we might see. I mean, I think Sugar Ray Leonard really wants high-profile trainers on this show, but he definitely is taking a leadership role on his yellow team here.
Oh yeah,
and I'm digging how calm he is about all this. He's like, I'm going for the hardest guy because I know I've beaten him before. He could have gone for Codrington and taken a guy with less experience. He chose to go with a guy that's got all the experience in the world, but he knows that he's beaten him before. He's going to go for the sure thing.
Yeah. But
I dig that, though. I'm really loving this season of Contender. I didn't think I would. I don't know why. I didn't think that I would like a season where 2 seasoned veterans were going to be given a chance to go on there. But Stevie Forbes just won this weekend over Francisco Panchito Bajado. Who was a very big time. I mean, he was an Olympian and everything. He was highly touted as an amateur, highly touted as a prospect in the pros. And Stevie Johnson just went in there and just tore him up.
Yeah, Stevie Forbes. Stevie Forbes.
What did I say? Stevie Johnson. No, Stevie Forbes. Pardon me.
Forbes has been doing pretty good since he came out of the Contender.
He's going for a title shot next.
Yeah, he won that. He actually won that fight before this one. I can't remember who he fought. But it was Hopkins, Demetrius.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had him winning that fight. Actually, I had him, and I believe you had him winning that.
Yeah.
They're saying that was the steal of the year, giving that to Hopkins. So he's looked good so far. That night he looked better than Hopkins, who's one of the top up and comers right now. And Forbes past champion. He's gonna, like you said, he's gonna have a chance to get maybe back again.
He'll get another belt. We'll see him in Canastota soon enough. You watch. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back, and let's come back to Angel Hernandez possibly. Let's see what we got. Let's roll the dice and see what Timmy the producer Patterson has in store for us. This is your Bullet Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance. www.hssp.ccsportsjuice.com.
This is Kelly,
Venus, and Dani.
And we're the Everlast Girls at the Boxing Hall of Fame. And you are listening to the Bolo Punch Boxing Hour on HSSP. Save us a ringside seat.